Happy Halloween! In this video, I am joined by OhEmGee. We are talking about all of the new meta teams emerging in Marvel Strike Force. So we're talking about our favorite teams for Ultimus 7. We're going to talk about that crazy war defense team, Fury Coulson, and we're going to talk about my favorite new meta team, that Supernatural team. They are crazy good, guys. Before we start talking about all these meta teams, I do want to introduce you to my shiny new channel, ValleyFlyin 76. Now, why did I create this channel? Well, I started playing this new game, Dragon Champions, and I am enjoying it a lot. But I also realized that you guys are here for Marvel Strike Force and Marvel content. You may not enjoy some other games that I'm playing. So what I'm going to do with ValleyFlyin 76, anything non-Marvel is going to be on this channel, including all my Dragon Champions content. So if you guys are enjoying this game, come over to this channel and check that out. And if you haven't checked out Dragon Champions yet, it is just like Marvel Strike Force and Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, except with a World of Warcraft type setting. So there's a link in the description, and if you use that link, the channel does get compensated. Back at the normal ValleyFlyin channel, the plan is to continue with all Marvel Strike Force content, anything Marvel related, and to continue to do at least 4 videos per week, and over ValleyFlyin 76, at least 2 videos every week. As you may have noticed, I don't have any videos on this channel, and there's only 2 subscribers there right now. Both of them are me. But YouTube does not monetize any channels before 1,000 subscribers, so even if you aren't into Dragon Champions, if you want to help a brother out, I'm just saying. But if you guys are ready to talk about the meta, you know what to do, guys. Let's go smash it! I'm smashing it!
ValleyFlyin.
Hey, what is up, Valley Maniacs? ValleyFlyin here. I am back with the biggest Valley Maniac of them all, OhEmGee, MobileGamer, Trevor. What is up, brother? How are you doing?
I have that T-shirt that you're wearing right now. I have the exact same one.
It is
I think
super
I gotta find
soft
it.
and comfortable, right?
Yeah, it's a nice shirt, man.
It is cool. I like it. We are here to discuss not just some awesome merch. We are here to discuss some of the new meta teams that are emerging in the game right now. We talked about a couple of them on your videos, so make sure you guys check those out. The first one I want to talk about, though, is the war defense team. I think you just recently unlocked Coulson, so did I. Very, very tough. What are your thoughts on Coulson on war defense? Because that is a strong team. They're very, very strong in that mode.
Okay, first things first, I already have a fairly well-developed shield team, so it's very logical for me to take Coulson as high as possible. I've invested 2 T4s in his passive and his ultimate, and I'm placing him on defense, and I'm not going to stop putting resources into him until he's in the 12s.
Okay.
You know, probably 12.5, you know, and if I can take him to 13, fine, but he's a character I'm willing to take up all the way up, and so what that means to me is that I'm going to have to play against a lot of other people's Coulsons. They're going to be doing the same thing. I think this is a no-brainer. And for me, I am only going to be attacking with my X-Men against other Coulson teams. I'm not going to be using my X-Men team against Ultron or BKT. I'm going to save X-Men specifically for Coulson because when I play up against Coulson, it's effectively a 4 versus 5 or even a 3 versus 5 before I even get to go.
Yeah.
And the only scenario where that makes sense is with my X-Men and they take out my Phoenix, who goes into the second form, and that is a good thing. So it's a tricky match, and I think I can punch across or slightly up with my X-Men, and I will continue to upgrade my X-Men so that I win. If I go into my next war and I get outmatched by an opposing Coulson with my X-Men, then I'm going to have to dump more resources into my X-Men. But I really don't want to be putting all my resources into X-Men when I can be putting them elsewhere. But I'm hoping and I'm thinking that guild leaders and leaders of guilds are saying, hey, listen, you really need to save your X-Men for Coulson. If you're using your X-Men on other teams, it's a waste because this Coulson team is absurdly difficult to play up against. And unless you take out the Coulson or Medic, and you have to take out Medic first, you're leaving a team that can hold up multiple times. I see screenshots of people getting multiple defensive wins with Coulson, and people are just backing out and getting like 7 wins. It's absurdly hard, and there's really no other counter other than XMen currently.
Yeah. What is your experience right now with Coulson? How many defensive wins are you seeing per war with that team?
Okay, so I only have 1 complete war myself, and my opponent. I placed my Coulson on defense once, and my opponent used an XMen and cleared it the first time around. Okay. And then I have played against XMen or against Coulson one time, and I used my XMen successfully. So basically, it was like they played smart, I played smart, and it was 1 for 1. Okay. Basically, it just we negated each other's XMens, and that was fine.
I got a question about your power levels. Did you have both of those T4s on when your opponent cleared your Fury Coulson?
Yes.
Okay.
And they punched down, and I punched down as well.
Okay.
Yes. So basically, I went in at 279 versus their 271, and it was something similar on the other side. Okay. It was basically a trade, and that's what it is. It's basically an even matchup. And you said you tried to punch up 80K, it didn't work.
Yeah, that doesn't work. Don't punch up that far against a Coulson team. That's not good.
Yeah, it's a tricky matchup. So and unless you're able, people are even having a hard time using 2 teams to clear. If you don't take out a medic, they're going to revive and get all their health back, and then you're back at square one, and then you're going to be backing out of the match. It's a tricky matchup. In fact, I'm going to say if you're able to kill the medic, or if you're able to kill Coulson and the medic is still alive, you need to let it time out. You need to stop, because medic will revive Coulson, and then you're back at square one, where if you just let the clock time out when Coulson's dead, and then you could go in, then it's a sane matchup.
Yeah. Or the other way around. If Medic's dead, Coulson's there, it's not as easy of a matchup as if Coulson's dead, but you can still 2-shot that node. And it's kind of like chess. You're trading a piece for a piece. Yeah. You're trading an XMen for Fury's shield. And I've had one war as well, similar results. I got 1-shotted, but it was with an XMen, so they did their job. I don't have the T4s to put in him. So
it's a win. Yeah. If your Coulson is on defense and they have to use an X-Men, it did what it's supposed to do. That X-Men is not blowing up your Ultron. That X-Men is not blowing up your BKT. It did its job. If they wasted or they had to use an X-Men, that is the only smart way to play that team.
Now, you mentioned BKT. You're going to need someone to kill them. And that brings us to our next meta team that we're going to talk about. That is Supernatural. And they are a very, very good counter to BKT. So what are your thoughts on Supernatural? I think they do need to be built now that X-Men is going to be taken off by Fury Coulson. You need someone to kill BKT on defense. I think Supernatural does that very well. You have all the characters unlocked also. What are your thoughts on this team?
Okay, so here's the thing. Every BKT I go up against is maxed out of their mind. Gear 13 out of their mind, because these were teams used to unlock Ultron. Yeah. So there are no... I'm not coming across weak BKTs. All the BKTs I'm coming across, are pushing 300,000 every time. Okay. And so, in my Supernatural team, yes, I have a strong Doctor Strange and a strong Mordo. I do not have the T-Force and the resources to get my Elsa and Ghost Rider up to the levels needed to be able to beat a 300,000 BKT. And so that is something that may happen over time, but I've got other priorities right now.
Yeah, I think for most people that's not going to happen right away, but I think eventually that is going to be the counter to help with that BKT. Where are you using this Supernatural team? Because I'm having a lot of fun with them, and they're kicking butt too. So it's just an added bonus that
and I know that some people might be putting them on defense, but to me this is like a combo team. Like if I see Supernatural on defense, I know that it's a much easier matchup once Doctor Strange is dead.
Yeah.
and there's no tanks protecting Doctor Strange. It's a combo team, right?
Yeah.
If you kill Ghost Rider first, you're in trouble. Yeah. If you don't take care of Doctor Strange, you're in trouble. So I like using this on offense myself because it's the AI may not choose Doctor Strange. And if the AI does not choose Doctor Strange, it actually can hold out pretty well.
Yeah.
Because Ghost Rider is going to be able to get a lot of health back when he gets the charge, when an enemy dies, or when one of your ally dies, and Doctor Strange can revive. So it's a good offensive team, in my opinion. And I'm using it on offense, and of course, it does well in blitz.
Yeah, I don't think they're a good defensive team as well. I know they're getting a lot of wins for people right now, and I think it's because they're tricky and they're new. But once Doctor Strange dies, that team kind of slowly falls apart. And Ghost Rider apparently is not working correctly either to do what he's supposed to do. So hopefully they'll fix that and give us a way to farm these characters up to get them the strength that they really need for their damage dealers.
But if you're playing against Supernatural and Supernatural's on defense, Doctor Strange has quite a bit of sustain. If you have a team that has a lot of positive effects, every time that you're putting positive effects on yourself, he's healing himself. So that can be a tricky thing to get through the Doctor Strange. But
I didn't say it's easy. I just said once he's dead, that team falls apart. It's not easy to get to him, but if you can do it.
But if you can get through Doctor Strange, the team will fall apart. But there's just they have so much turn meter gain, and if you don't have a way of cleansing, I think if you've got a way of cleansing negative status effects off yourself with like a Jessica Jones or a Groot, or even a self cleanser, I think
AIM counters them very, very well. But
AIM counters them very well, and I think Captain Marvel has countered almost everything, right? But Captain Marvel can blow up somebody turn one, and you choose Doctor Strange, and she's gonna clear all the negative effects off of her turn one. She's gonna have some sustain, and she probably can get through that Doctor Strange.
Yeah, and then it's easy sailing after that. Next meta that we want to talk about is for the raids, shifting away from war a little bit, going toward the raids. Ultimus 7, hardest content that I have seen to date. What are your thoughts on this, and what are you using with some pretty good success in these Ultimus 7 raids?
Okay, so there's a lot of teams that are not working in Ultimus 7, and my guild is just trying to get 40-50%, and 40% we're fine. As long as we're getting above 40%, we feel that's better than doing U6, which is a straight autoplay. But Ultimus 7, the advantage to Ultimus 7 right now is because we're not trying to do 100% or 80% or anything crazy, and we're working our way up. I have more energy than I need, and there's, I'm able to, throw Brotherhood in and just go through one node, or Brotherhood can 3/4 clear a node. I mean, it's a different game plan.
All right, so the team that I'm using right now and having the most success with is a team that I saw on one of Combs' video, and that is a team with Ultron, Captain Marvel, Minerva, Invisible Woman, and Shuri, the legendary Shuri. Who are you using right now and having the most success with in Ultimus 7?
I'm using BKT with Ultron, and taking out Thanos and putting Ultron in. And the problem with that team is that it times out.
Yes, or is it? As long as you have everybody still a decent amount of health and all their charges set up correctly, especially with Ultron, because he's really screwed up if you don't have that correct. So timing out's not necessarily the worst thing in that raid, in my opinion.
Here's the thing about Ultron. Ultron is dead in the water if you have no energy. If you go into a battle with no energy and you're just doing basic attacks, he's dead. There's nothing. But if you can, summon minions, ultimate, and get the kills and summon, and then when you get towards the end of the match, save. You need to be able to summon minions immediately, or you're dead in the water. And then the ultimate, you need to be able to do the ultimate with a lot of positive effects. Or else you're dead in the water there too. So, because he's dead, he's done. If you go into a battle with everything on cooldown and you only have basic attacks, he's dead.
Basic.
You're dead,
fun.
and he's not good. And this raid is hard. There's just some nodes where they can clear anybody, and then unless you have death proof up from Groot or something like that, your team just starts dying instantly. It's a mess.
Yeah.
So Minerva is always good, of course, and it's just a matter of I think working with Minerva, working with Ultron, and keeping those two alive, and that's kind of why that Invisible Woman Shuri thing, they're there just to keep those two going.
Yeah, Shuri with her defense up, she has some healing, Invisible Woman clearing some positive effects, putting offense down on all the enemies, and then one other character that I bring in as a replacement if someone dies, Scientist Supreme. Because she flips the negative effects. She doesn't just clear them. And it's basically flip negative effects basic and just keep doing that. And then maybe her passive will bring somebody back to life. But I like her in these raids as well.
What do you do if your Minerva dies? Sometimes your Minerva just dies out of nowhere. It's
Scientist Supreme is going on to the next
out of the raid. What do you do? Your whole team's just gonna die
sometimes. Depends how far I'm at. I might back out, or I might just use Scientist Supreme on the next node. It depends, but that's a good thing that I like about this Ultimus raid, because you're expected to clear maybe 4 or 5 nodes, and that's it. So you got all this energy to do those 4 or 5 nodes, and it's cool. It's cool.
For me, I really like the difficulty of the raid. I know there was a lot of people complained about the difficulty and it's unfun. It's like, no, I like this. Now, I don't like the rewards.
Yeah.
I think the rewards are trash.
Now, good news. They're talking about it. There was an announcement on Reddit. So hopefully, the points looks like they're going to be changed, but hopefully some of these rewards will be changed as well to kind of line up, because it's hard.
I welcome the difficulty and the challenge to my roster and giving me something to do. Like right now, I'm like, okay, I need to take I kind of didn't really bother with my Invisible Woman. Now I've got to focus on my Invisible Woman. Maybe I'm going to focus on my Shuri. I got to focus on my Scientist Supreme. There are things for me to do because this raid is hard. And I don't think that it's cookie cutter, and I think each node's a little bit different. And, you and I are talking about clearing 30, 40, 50% of the raid. Never mind getting to 100%. It gets ridiculous. It scales through the roof. Those last couple nodes and those boss nodes are double as hard as what we're playing right now in the early parts. We're nowhere near mastering this or having perfect teams or having a plan to get 100%. Nowhere near close. I mean, that's going to take level 75. It's going to have the right teams and the right team compositions on the right nodes, maxed out teams, and it's also going to require, in my opinion, the ISO 8 and whatever that looks like. I don't know what that looks like or what that's going to be, but it's going to be needed.
Yeah, I mean, for better or worse, I think you're right about those ISO 8s, and at the very least, it's giving us something to talk about with all this theory crafting. And
it's at least
I love this part. I love the theory crafting aspect.
I feel that I'm a kind of end game type of stuff. My account's up there. We're 3 to 6 months away from being anywhere near close to being bored with this. 6 months? I mean, I don't see autoplay or anything ridiculous happening with this U7, and I like the challenge. I just don't like the rewards. The end.
I agree.
Right?
Totally agree 100%. I love it. And those are the teams that I'm liking now and you're using now. Who knows? A month from now, maybe there's some other team that emerges that is way better than these. So that is a very, very positive thing in my opinion. Anything else? Any other teams you want to talk about before we go?
Nope. That's it.
Nice. All right. Tell them where they can find you, my friend.
I'm all over the interwebs.
Yes, check out his Grindr account, guys. It is top notch, and I will see you guys next time. If you like this video, make sure you subscribe, share this with your friends. Check out some of the Valley merch that we talked about. There's some other links to support the channel, BlueStacks, and a bunch of other stuff. Make sure you check me out on social media, and I will see you next time. Hulk fist bump, ValleyFlyin out.
Smash it.